Hi everyone. Yes, we are on the part 2 of our chapter Consumerist Culture. So in the part 1 we had discussed about consumer and their behavior. Who is the consumer? Us, the buyers. How they buy? Randomly. They buy unessential things. They don't even need those things and they buy and come. Correct? So we had spoken about how advertisers have become so important and how they help in reaching the correct market. Even the remotest of village has Pepsi and Coca-Cola, even if they don't have electricity or water, but you will definitely find soft drinks there. Earlier what we served to our guests? Tea, coffee, buttermilk, fresh lime, tender coconut. Now what do we serve? Pepsi, Cola, Mountain Dew from our fridge, which is very unhealthy, right? So let's move on and see what our author Sherian Alexander has to say. Fashionable luxury resorts for the affluent are coming up everywhere, but lung spaces for public use, parks and playgrounds are shrinking. We are building big malls, big resorts, big posh apartments, but in that, parks and playgrounds are shrinking, are becoming lesser. It is much the same story with many other services in the public domain, including transportation, healthcare, libraries and education. All private companies have come up now, and with that, they're all taking advantage. We are going through COVID-19, right? A very deadly disease has come and captured all the parts of the world. I will give you a very small example. Private hospitals, you know how much they are charging even for a simple thing? Now, we as humans, we are very scared of death. What do? It's okay, we have to spend money, we will spend money. But what are they doing? They are taking so much money from us which is not even required. Correct? They are looting us in their name. Educational industries, they have kept teachers. They are taking everything online. Everything has changed. So, in the public domain, including transportation, healthcare, libraries, education, everything is changing. Private companies are capturing everything everywhere. The trend is to push even the most essential services into the private realm so that some company or other can make a profit on them. All these companies by government are taken up by private companies so they can extract or remove as much profit as they can. In the process, the poor are being pushed into becoming consumers of increasingly expensive goods and utilities. Now what do these private companies do? They invest so much into advertising and making it big. Who is getting affected? The poor people are getting affected. They end up paying much more for that. The most important example, the hospitals, I just told you. Advertisers and marketing professionals are working hard to see to it that even people who live at the subsistences level in remote rural pockets are lured. Lured means tempted to do something. You keep a cheese in front of the rat will come and take the cheese, and if you've kept the rat hole, he will go and get attacked. And entranced means filled with wonder. They're like, oh my God, that's nice. Into becoming passive consumers of everything from cola drinks to shampoos. They want even a person who cannot afford to buy those products. All they see is a vast rural market waiting to be opened for commercial exploitation. They are waiting. Anything new that comes and they want to grab the market. We are fast approaching the day when it will become easier to get a bottle of Coke rather than tender coconut or buttermilk in most of our villages. Villages want to be trendy. They want to show off that, see, I'm having a Pepsi or a Coke. But you will see that buttermilk and coconut water will no longer be available in these kind of villages. The increasing presence of plastic garbage in our rural areas is a clear warning signal. We can't even imagine the kind of waste that is coming out of all this. Developed countries like America have a very beautiful way of disposing plastic and aluminum cans and garbage. Our country still doesn't have it, and it is very alarming to see, very scary to see this kind of waste being disposed in a very bad manner. It is interesting to see the connection between all this. This is the 8th point in your book, okay? So you please read the book with me. As I am reading the chapter, you should put your finger on the book and read it with me. The page is 61, okay? It is interesting to see the connection between all this and what is being drummed up as development. We call this as development. We call this as we are getting modern by agencies like the World Bank, whose main objective, main work is to make the way smooth for the unbridled expansion of the so-called free market economy to every corner of the globe. Unbridled is uncontrolled. Now what is World Bank doing? It is making a channel for these companies to come here and capture everything. It's called free market, okay? Free market, they want to get the free economy market in every part of the globe. Enthusiasts of this vision of development are dreaming of a day when all of India will look like the United States, with 2 cars in every garage and the reassuring glow of McDonald and Pepsi signs all along every highway. What do they imagine? Some people imagine our beautiful India with such beautiful architecture. They imagine us also to be what? To have big houses with so many cars, and the entire highway is filled with these kind of fast food restaurants who are not even healthy. Do you think it makes sense? I am very happy with the South Indian dosas and idli that I get. Moving on, the final confirmation of our reaching the promised land will come on the day the sheer tonnage of the garbage we throw out, plastic cups, junked cars, refrigerators and TV sets, matches the levels of the land of the almighty dollar. Now they have, as I told you, the way of them recycling the garbage is completely different. We have so much of this garbage thrown everywhere, we have no control over it. When this happens, we will no longer be called a developing country, but will rejoice as the advanced West. We are taking this culture from the West. Our teachers and role model finally certifies us as developed. They will finally tell us as we are developed. Who are our role models? Our teachers. It is to actualize this vision that millions of our youth are rushing to get their MBA degrees. What are our youth doing? They are rushing to get their MBA degrees from the abroad. Is it better to support the economy of abroad, America, Western, or support the economy of our very own India? Don't we want to graduate or educate ourselves or work from India? I think we should do that. Do you want to make a Western company like McDonald's rich, big time rich, or do you want our local restaurants to become rich? We should definitely think about that. The only way out. Now the narrator tells us the solution, the answers to all the questions. But wait a minute. How practical is this vision? Is this vision even practical? Can this even happen? It has been estimated that to make this paradigm of development a reality for all of India and China. What is paradigm? It is a model. To make this model of development a reality, to get Western culture in India, leaving aside other developing nations, the resources of planet Earth will prove horribly inadequate. We don't have these kind of resources in India to be able to handle this kind of economy, the Western culture. We do not have resources. We would need at least another 3 planets. It is clear then that this consumer paradise, aggressively marketed by the giant global corporations, will, besides paving the way for an ecological holocaust. What is holocaust? It is a total destruction. We will need 3 planets for those kind of resources to happen. Prove to be, what an irony, the most unworldly vision of all. It is definitely not possible. It doesn't look practical at all. Simply because it will have run out of worlds before it is fully realized. We will be run out of our own planet Earth or world till we realize that. Okay. It isn't hard to see then that any model of development based on simulating high consumption lifestyles through aggressive advertising and limitless market expansion is not only unsustainable but also highly dangerous for the well-being of humanity. We might get all the brands, we might get developed, we might do everything, but is it worth it? Is it good for our society? Is it good for our health? Does it actually make sense to get these things back to India? Do you really think so? The price paid in ecological terms will make it the most suicidal enterprise the human race has ever embarked upon. We desperately need alternative models of development. We don't need this kind of development. We have a lot of other ways for developing our country. What is embarked upon? Embarked upon is engaged. So basically, the price paid in ecological terms will make it the most suicidal enterprise the human race has ever engaged upon. We desperately need alternative models of development. It is not a wise thing to hand over to businessmen the task of ruling the world as we have just done today. What we have done, we have given everything to businessmen to handle. Government has no role. But if we do that, what does a businessman want to do? He wants to only extract profits. He wants to make money. Does he even care about the welfare of the society? No. He only cares about his own money, his own profit. Businessmen cannot be counted upon to have the wisdom or the will to think of the welfare of the humanity, leave alone the health of the planet. For some time, he will, to start with, to make us understand. But later, he will only be concerned about his own welfare and his own money. He will not care about us or the planet Earth. Okay? So, this is what he wants to say here. This is not part of the training of business administrators. This is not a business administrator's part to do. They are mainly trained to do everything possible to maximize profits for the corporations that employ them. Now, they have their trainings, correct? You do your financial degrees. In those, do they teach you to go for the welfare of the society? They teach you how you can be a profitable businessman, how you can apply strategies or techniques to be a popular businessman, not concerned about humanity or a human race or planet Earth. The only way to restore sanity is for local communities, the local restaurants, the local shopkeepers, the grocers, cooperatives, civil societies. Now, who are civil societies? Groups which strive towards an exploitation. Free society based on humanitarian lines. There were a lot of groups who work for free for societies. And democratic governments. So, everywhere to take back the autonomy. The government should take back the power and the initiative for their own development, which they recently traded away to the giant global business corporations. Lot of big businessmen are coming up and capturing everything. Lot of private companies are coming and taking over all the small units like transportation, hospitals, education industries. So, government should step in now and take back everything to their own and make us a developed country again with happy faces. There is now a great need to reawaken the numerous enabling spiritualities and wisdom traditions of the various people of the world. There are a lot of people who've given us beautiful spiritual knowledge, isn't it? They are so nice and obviously they don't cost money. Like our very own Mahatma Gandhi once said that the earth has enough for every man's need, but not enough for every man's greed. Earth is full of everything. We have everything available for us here. Our need is fulfilled, but is our greed fulfilled? No. After taking this, we want more. I want, I want, I want, I want more. We can never satisfy this I want. So little bit of spirituality is definitely needed in all of us. All human beings have a right to the basic material requirements for a life of dignity. Basic requirements you need. But there comes a point beyond which it is necessary to say enough to the merely material. Necessity things are required. Material things are not required. If it's not in your budget, don't do it. Then one should turn to the commodities of the spirit, the arts, the culture, community life, in order for life to be truly meaningful and sustainable. You need people around you. You need friends around you. You need happy people around you. That will make you happy, not material things. Material things can make you happy for some time, but this will give you lifetime happiness. This is ultimately a spiritual and philosophical decision for both individuals and communities to make. Henry David Thoreau, the 19th century American, he was a philosopher, observed superfluous. What is superfluous? More than is needed or unnecessary things. Wealth can buy only superfluities. Artificial things or material things can only buy you material happiness. Money is not required to buy even one necessity of the soul. For your soul, for your heart, you do not need money. You need money for basic necessity things. Yes, definitely you can't be happy without money. You need money for necessary things. But to a certain extent where you can say, enough, I will not spend more than this. One can only hope that humanity can muster up enough soul force to contain the damage caused by unrestricted consumerism, lest we really shop till we drop and nothing of value is left standing on our beloved Mother Earth. We are only shopping unnecessary things. After that, nothing will be left in our Mother Earth. Everything will be taken away from you. Yes, now we are at the end of the chapter. I want to ask you something. Weren't we happy with the landline in our house where people could not reach us? Now we have this gadget called a mobile phone everywhere with us, with anyone can reach us anytime, correct? So live small, live happy. Let us start solving the question answers. Question 13, we have already covered the upper questions in the part 1 of the video. You can see the questions from there. After that, it's question number 13, the A part. What is the trend referred to in paragraph 6? What trend are we in? The trend is to push even the most essential services into the private realm so that some company or other can make a profit on them. Question 13, the B part. Who does the trend benefit? Now this trend has come. What trend has come? Private companies capturing the market, the small companies. Now who benefits in them? Do we benefit? The private realm. The companies benefit, they get the profit. What are we getting? Nothing. The 13C part. What is the impact of the trend on the poor? How does it affect the poor? Now private companies have taken over. How is it affecting the poor people? The poor are being pushed into becoming consumers of increasingly expensive goods and utilities. With everything, there are a lot of things added, so everything has become expensive for them. 14A, what are the advertisers and marketing professionals working hard at? What do they want? What is their aim? Working hard to see that even people living at the subsistence level or remote rural pockets are lured, that means tempted and entranced, getting excited into becoming passive consumers of everything from cola drinks to shampoos. The B part of the 14th question, how will it affect our villagers? All they see is a vast rural market waiting to be opened up for commercial exploitation. For villagers, even if they can't afford, they would want that things. That is the main aim of advertisers. 14, the C part. What impact will it have on our environment as a whole? The increasing presence of plastic garbage in our rural areas is a clear warning signal. We are seeing a lot of plastic cups or plastic bottles or aluminum cans thrown here and there, so which is a warning signal for our environment. We are on the 15th question, the A part. The question answers are on the page 65. What kind of vision do the enthusiasts of free market economy have for India? Enthusiastic of this mission of development are dreaming of a day when all of India will look like the limited states, like an American state. They want our India to look like America. Question 15, the B part. Do you like India to become another US? Would you like it? Why not? Why you don't want our beautiful India to look like US? No, we don't want, because the final confirmation of our reaching the promised land will come on the day sheer tonnage of the garbage we throw out matches the level of the almighty dollar. We cannot even compare our kind of disposable techniques to the Americans. What negative impact will the free market economy have on our country? The day will come to face the sheer tonnage of the garbage we throw out. The day will come when we are throwing so much of free garbage, it will come back to us. Question number 16. Why does the writer say that the model of development based on consumerism is suicidal? Why does he use this term? The price paid in ecological terms will make it the most suicidal enterprise the human race has ever embarked upon. Once the entire ecology will be disturbed, environment will be disturbed, and when the environment will be disturbed, we might die. It is like a suicide kind of a thing for us. Question number 17. What, according to the writer, is the only way to restore sanity? How we remain sane? How do we do that? The only way to restore sanity is for local communities, for small businesses, cooperatives, civil societies and democratic governments everywhere to take back the autonomy, the power and initiative for their own development, which they recently traded away to the giant global business corporation. Recently they have given up all these small industries to big business tycoons and MNCs. They should take it back and help them. Question 18. As one of the remedies to the mess we have created, the writer suggests a reawakening. What does he want to reawaken? What is the solution? There is now a great need to reawaken the numerous enabling spiritualities and wisdom traditions of the various people of the world. We India, we are very proud that we have so many spiritual connections here. If we awaken those, we might, it's a beautiful thing that we can do. Now question number 19, the A part. What was the intended meaning of the advertisers? Consumers' tendency is to shop till they get exhausted or tired. Shop till you drop. This is the main thing of the advertisers. Question number 19, the B part. How does the writer interpret its meaning in the last paragraph? What does he say in the last paragraph to conclude? Consumers have a right to the basic material requirements for a life of dignity, to live with respect. One should turn to the commodities which is very much required to make their life simple and meaningful. Only which is required, not materialistic. 19C. Now I explain why the writer calls this apt and ironic. The writer says this never-ending shopping will buy only superfluous things that destroy one's soul. It can only satisfy the material needs and not the needs of the soul. The question number 20. Do you like this article? Did you like this chapter? Why and why not? Yes, I like this chapter. It gives us awareness to the consumers to raise the Mother Earth, protect the Mother Earth, restore the sanity. All human beings have right to the basic material requirements for a life of dignity or respect. It is necessary to say enough to the merely material than life to be truly meaningful and sustainable. We have to cut a limit, we have to draw a line and say enough. I hope you understood this from this chapter. Question 21. Read paragraph 4 very carefully and match the statements under A with the examples given under B. Now these are the extracts, the statements from your book. These are examples. We need to match them. Let's start reading. Shopping has become more than a need. You don't even require some things and you go and buy that. What example? Yeah, this. I was so impressed by this latest version of the smartphone that I bought it using my credit card. Now there are two kinds of credit cards that we get from the bank, a debit card and a credit card. In debit card, you know this much account you have and you can spend only that much. But credit card gives you the freedom to spend the money that you actually don't have it. You set a limit maybe of 3 lakhs or whatever, and that much money you spend, but you have to repay the bank when you get it. Yes, otherwise they will charge you interest. Now, did you need that phone? No. We had a very nice and decent phone, but because it is an upgraded version, we want to buy it. The second one, it has become an obsessive compulsion over which we have no control. Buying additional pairs of branded shoes because they are on 50% off sale. Control. Do we have control over us? We have 4 pair of shoes at home left already, but just because I went to the mall and I found this nice neon colored pair of shoe which was 50%, I do not have control. I lose my control and I buy it. Shopping is an end in itself. That is, I enjoy shopping. I love shopping. It is a de-stress for me. It has become a form of entertainment. When you talk about entertainment, what can the answer be? I spend my weekend evenings in the nearby mall. What you could have done? You could have seen TV on a Friday night or a Saturday night. What do? On the Sunday morning, you go to the mall and you spend your time. That's what it is. Okay, so these are the answers. I have also mentioned the answers for you while reading it. We come to the summary of the chapter to understand this better. In this lesson, the writer has made it very clear that people have become mindless consumers, buying things which have practically no use. Advertisements have made certain products hard to resist, and these have become available in every nook and corner of the country. Artificially flavored and colored water is being preferred to nutritive drinks like coconut water, fresh lime, and buttermilk. Shopping malls are springing up everywhere, bringing availability of options that make us greedy, not needy, but greedy for more. Small communities and cooperative societies are losing their foothold. That means their grab. We should know that it is time for us to say enough. We should stop this damage which is being caused by extreme consumerism. Otherwise, nothing of value will be left standing on this earth. Earth will be useless. There will be no meaning of us to stay here. If we right now at this moment do not say enough, we have to understand that we need to stop being greedy. Don't demand for everything. Don't say I want this, I want this, I want this. Be happy, be thankful for what you have. And with this, we end the part 2 also of the chapter Consumerist Culture. I hope you have understood the chapter. Read it well. There are small things that you need to remember. I have answered all your questions. Your glossary is done. Your question answers are done. But hey, we also have a lot of quizzes and games for you on the app. So log on to the app and enjoy yourself. So I sign out with this chapter, Kashish Chub. Thank you.